Live for Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. And this is the news that we all suspected might happen, but we never wanted to have to report to you. Never wanted to see that, sadly, the first 2 deaths in North Carolina have been reported from the coronavirus. Both of these deaths happened in Cabarrus County. I'm Erica Bryant.
And I'm Scott Wickersham. It was sad news today. In the past hour, Cabarrus County announcing also a stay-at-home order will happen there at 5 p.m. tomorrow. We'll bring you all the major impacts from the virus here at home, and there's a lot to get to. We are monitoring live pictures from the White House, expecting a briefing from the coronavirus task force. We'll keep you updated on that as well, and we have a lot on the local news, so we'll try not to stay with that for too long, but do want to hear the latest from that task force and from the president.
Meantime, we are seeing another major shift today. Right now at 5 o'clock, all the theaters, the gyms, the salons, the barber shops throughout North Carolina are set to close after an order by Governor Roy Cooper that came on Monday. Starting today, all CATS buses and light rail, you can ride for free, but the schedules have been scaled back. And tomorrow morning, Mecklenburg County's stay-at-home order begins at 8 a.m. Now, we've been watching the numbers for you closely every hour. Now, so far, in Mecklenburg County, 170 cases, 504 cases across the state. This is the 3rd day in a row that we've seen a triple-digit increase in the Tar Heel State. The virus claiming the lives of 7 people so far in South Carolina. There are now 424 cases there. That is up 82 from 342 cases yesterday. And now we want to start again with those 2 deaths, the first deaths reported in North Carolina today.
And both of those in Cabarrus County. The health department says that a Cabarrus County man in his late 70s passed away. That is a high-risk age group, and this man did have underlying medical conditions. The second death was a person who was just traveling through Cabarrus County from Virginia. That patient in their 60s. Our Ken Lemon is live in Cabarrus County, where, Ken, the first local deaths, both in that area, hitting the community very hard.
Yeah, and things are moving really fast here, and it is unsettling to those people that we talked to. You talked about the 2 individuals, those 2 deaths here. One, the person who was from here in the 70s, the other, the person from Virginia passing through this area and died here of coronavirus. That other piece of new information released minutes ago in a press release from the Health Alliance is stunning. A jump in those cases from 9 yesterday reported by the health officials here to 18 today. That is double. That prompted the county to issue a stay-at-home order starting tomorrow at 5 p.m. I went down to the southern end of the county along Davidson Highway. Until yesterday, that area had the most cases reported, positive cases reported in the county, with 6. I talked to Sherry Clark, a 67-year-old woman who has lung disease and has been hospitalized 4 times in the last few months.
I go outside and plant flowers or vegetables or something. I'm trying to just be in a safe area and praying that I don't catch it.
And you can see the concern in her face as I spoke to her there. She's hoping that these new measures going into effect tomorrow will make a difference in this case. We're still learning more information about that. Those details released by folks here at the Health Alliance. I'm hoping to dig out some more details and bring a little bit more about what all of this means to you in about an hour, Scott.
Yeah, those first people passing away, it really just hits home for those people. And you're right, Ken, you could see in her face, I really don't want to catch it. Something that you can't really kind of put your finger on how to avoid it other than following the guidelines, washing your hands, and staying home. Thanks, Ken.
And another major update to touch on now. We are just 15 hours away from that stay-at-home order taking effect in Mecklenburg County. As of 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, unless you are doing essential business, you must stay at home. Our government reporter, Joe Bruno, has been meeting with city and county officials about this over the past 24 hours to tell us more about what you can expect. Joe.
Well, leaders say this is not going to be easy, but they view it as a necessary, drastic step that our community has to take. Mecklenburg County's stay-at-home order takes effect at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Essential businesses like grocery stores, pharmacies, and medical offices will remain open. The county is asking for people to not visit friends or engage in any unnecessary travel. They also say if you do not work for an essential business, you should not report for work. The order is scheduled to stay in effect until April 16th. The county will be looking at modeling, case count, and hospital capacity to determine whether this order should be extended. In a virtual news conference today, Mayor Vi Lyles said that this is an appropriate step for leaders to take. She says she knows it will not be easy to follow, but she hopes this will provide relief to local hospitals.
We've done hurricanes and we've done tornadoes and we're even prepared for all of those kinds of physical things. But to be able to cope with something that's unknown, that's transmitted from within each other, it's just been very, very hard.
Mayor Lyles acknowledged the economic turmoil that all this is going to have. She called on the federal government to pass the stimulus bill, and she said after that happens, the local government could look at providing supplemental funding for small businesses. Back to you.
Thank you for all those new details and hearing from the mayor. We have also taken calls, dozens of them, into our newsroom today from people asking whether they are essential workers. We have Action 9's Jason Stujanki investigating the order to let you know if you are included, and that will be ahead tonight at 6 o'clock. Meantime, the county also has this hotline. If you have any further questions, this number now on your screen, 704-353-1926. We also have this inside our news app.
And breaking tonight out of South Carolina, this is a quarantine order unlike anything we've heard in South Carolina or frankly anywhere else. The governor of South Carolina wants any out-of-state visitor when they arrive to put themselves into quarantine for 2 weeks. Here's a look at Governor Henry McMaster's announcement on Twitter today for anyone staying more than 2 nights in the state. At this point, we believe this only applies for visitors. Not sure about people who live in one Carolina and work in the other, but we have calls into the governor's office. We need a lot of clarity on this, and we'll get an answer for you in that regard. And tonight, Chesterfield County will start a new curfew. This will run from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. each day. It does not apply if you're going to work, going to the doctor's, pharmacy, just meant to keep people indoors overnight to prevent the spread.
We've been sharing with you the numbers, hundreds of people diagnosed with coronavirus, but tonight we're hearing from someone who has actually been treated for the virus now. She
described her experience to Channel 9's Greg Suskin.
Camden in Kershaw County is the first place in South Carolina where the coronavirus appeared and began spreading after a woman in her 80s was first diagnosed here. 50-year-old Barbara Lane got sick 9 days ago and tested positive for the virus. She talked to me by phone from Camden.
After a few days, I started having, shortness of breath and coughing.
She went to the hospital in Camden and is now resting at home, leaning on her family, but hoping they don't get sick too.
My older sister, she's been helping me. She's been mostly, covering her mouth. Putting masks on, gloves on, trying to, leave my food and stuff and drinking stuff at the door.
As of this afternoon, the small rural county of Kershaw had 58 positive cases, while nearby counties in our area had far smaller numbers, 11 in York, 7 in Lancaster, 1 in Chester, and 1 in Chesterfield. Much of Camden has shut down, as other counties have as well. Kershaw County was the first to see schools close, and the high number of cases attracted attention from the CDC, which called Barbara Lane to ask if she knew how she got sick. She didn't. She says coronavirus isn't like the flu.
There's no comparison at all. This is worse. I think it's worse than the flu. Let's pray for each other and let's look out for each other.
Greg Suskin, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We are praying for her and her family. As we mentioned about an hour ago, the number of cases in South Carolina did rise. 18 total cases now in York County. 3 in Chesterfield County. 1 was subtracted from Lancaster's total because the person actually lived out of the county. And in Kershaw County, now 63 total cases being reported.
Now, with so many people out of work and others worried about getting food and supplies, local grocery stores think they have a way they can try to solve both problems.
Channel 9's Anthony Costora spoke to local grocery store workers. They're making a push to hire more of those who are now looking for work.
At a time when millions of Americans are losing their jobs at restaurants and hotels and the airline industry because of the coronavirus pandemic, some companies are actually on a hiring frenzy right now. And that is because despite these mass shutdowns, people still need food and medicine. And that means a new hiring push at grocery stores and pharmacies here locally. Grocery chains such as Walmart, Food Lion, and Harris Teeter are looking to fill more than 500 positions right away in the Charlotte area. They need people to work in the stores and at distribution centers to help keep items stocked on the shelves. I talked with a spokesperson from a company that's helping with the hiring over video chat today. He says they're trying to make it as easy as possible for people who need jobs.
Immediately. So we have simplified our onboarding process to make it quick. We're trying to get people onboarded within 24 to 48 hours and get them immediately working.
They have waived some of the requirements in order to get those jobs, and some of the stores like Walmart have actually increased the pay for workers who are working during this epidemic. Back to you.
And as Anthony was mentioning, the grocer, one of them hiring is Matthews-based Harris Teeter. Some more details about them now. They're expecting to hire about 5,000 people, looking, as Anthony said, for people to restock the shelves. They're also looking for cashiers. And this new detail, those employees will get health insurance, 401k savings, and time off.
American Airlines is estimating more than 500 pilots will retire early as the airline is trying to cut its costs. We told you last week they're offering pilots 3 options: retire early, take a short-term leave, or extended leave. The Allied Pilots Association says the bidding process for early retirement just closed, and pilots will find out Friday if they got to use that option. It's not clear if any of those pilots are in the Charlotte area.